Anthony, great to see you. Nice that you still visit us even when your boyfriend's no longer here.
My boyfriend, Chris?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's
that was a bromance,
oh,
an epic bromance.
That's breaking news, John. He's my boyfriend now.
Listen, that was a bromance, as I think you'd
listen,
admit.
I love Chris, but it's a lot better to be being interviewed by you. Okay, you can tell him I said that. Okay.
Oh, I will. He won't like that. Okay, so Anthony, listen, your tweet makes no sense. It's not what the president wants. Congress must act. The president could stop this morning.
Well, I think he should.
Phone call.
Well, first of all, okay. So there were a lot of tweets I sent out yesterday, and I was sparring with a couple of Democrats. But I think the president should stop it. I think that the optics of the situation, however we got there, whether it was an Obama policy, it was a George W. Bush policy.
They didn't separate children from their parents.
Whatever the facts are, I'm not here to defend the Democrats or the Republicans. I'm here to say that it's very bad policy, and that the president is a humane guy. He's doing an amazing job on so many different fronts, and he doesn't need this type of visual or this type of imagery, okay, aside from which is inhumane and it's cruel, which I absolutely don't like. I think he needs to step back, stop listening to his aides and his advisors. This is a Woolman Rink kind of a moment where back with the Woolman Rink, the government couldn't get it done, 7, 8 years. They couldn't fix the ice rink, everyone complaining about each other. He stepped in a few months, he got the ice rink up and running. This is the same sort of deal. He's got to step in there, and he's got to end this thing, because I think it's an atrocious policy. It's inhumane. It's offensive to the average American. And when you think about American values, it does not represent American values.
Look, you know that his advisors say that they're using it as deterrence. That's what Stephen Miller has said. That's what Chief of Staff John Kelly has said.
Yeah, I think it's like I said, I'm sure there's a lot of different opinions about this, but I think at the end of the day, the president will do the right thing here. I think he's got to clear through the cloud of that sort of disagreement inside the White House as it relates to policy. Step back, look at the optics of this thing. The president's very good at imagery. He's a television star. He understands that this is not good for him. It's not good for the Congress if we want to win the midterm.
How do you know he understands that this is not good for him?
Because I know the guy. I mean, this is not. Come on, step back. I'm sure there's more than one honest person inside the White House that's looking to the president straight on and saying, "Hey, we have to fix this. This is really bad for us."
You know how it works in there. When do you think the president would change this?
Well, I don't know. I hope he changes it today. Frankly, this is not something that the American people. By and large, if you survey Republicans and Democrats, we don't want people separated from their children. I think there's a universality of understanding that that's bad policy. Now, if you want to go into the blame exercise of who started the policy and can the Democrats bridge a negotiation with him related to DACA and other things, yes, I totally understand that. But the immediate remedial need is to change this right now.
And the president can do that. Single-handedly.
Well, we all know that the president can do that. Yeah, he has the executive power to do that.
In terms of the blame game, I do want to go there because you, I think, went there yesterday. The president didn't invent the child separation policy. His chief of staff, former DHS secretary, did. John Kelly told NPR that children will be taken care of, put into foster care or whatever. That is not a humane solution. Expect the situation to be rectified. So you are casting blame on John Kelly.
Well, I'm casting blame on DHS starting in April of 2017. And that's exactly when it started happening. You're going back to the Bush administration and the Obama administration.
Yeah, but just stick with me here for a second.
And we're both saying
it sounds as though there's discord between John. Can I interpret this to be that there's discord between John Kelly and the president?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe there isn't discord between them. I'm just saying that the president, if he really steps back and looks at the situation, will reject this policy and reject this behavior going on at the border. That's what I believe.
But you think that John Kelly has pushed him too far on this? You think that this was John Kelly's brainchild? I'm just interpreting it from your tweet.
I think I'm just going by the facts. This happened in April. He was the head of DHS in April. It's been promulgated since then. Reporters have picked up on it now. People are saying that it happened before that. It doesn't appear that it happened before that if you're really looking at the facts. Yes, the policies were in place since the Bush administration, but you just said, and it seems clear that neither the Bush administration or the Obama administration did this. And so it seems like it started to happen in April, okay, based on the information me and my staff looked at. And
yeah, it did.
So So we're in agreement on
We're in
that.
agreement.
So let's knock it off because this is very, very bad for the Republican Party and it's very bad for the president.
And why do you think the president hasn't
By the way, I don't
overruled-
mind saying that because at the end of the day, what should happen in our process is that I'm a big-time supporter of the president. I want to see him win re-election. I've been very loyal to the president. And I think loyal people have to also be very honest. They don't just fall in line into some kind of groupthink, because that's very bad in terms of running an organization, an administration, or even a network.
I appreciate
like
your
this.
candor on this. So, but why isn't the president overruling John Kelly? If he doesn't like this, why hasn't he already overruled him?
Well, maybe he will. I think here's the problem. You're the president of the United States. You're dealing with North Korea. You obviously want to denuclearize North Korea. You're working on policy that leads to economic growth.
I understand.
For
He
the
has a lot on
society
his
and
plate,
wages. So,
but he could stop it with a phone call.
well, I think it's coming into his focus now. I think it's inside his crosshairs right now. He's just back from a historic trip. You're going to see a denuclearization of North Korea.
Yeah.
The economy is booming. Don't let this be a distraction going into the midterm elections. This sort of nonsense happening at the border.
But you actually think that this could hurt Republicans politically?
Oh, okay, I think the optics are very, very bad. Do you think it could hurt Republicans politically?
Look,
at the end of the day, the Republicans control the House, they control the Senate, and they control the presidency. Now, you can say, well, the Democrats aren't negotiating with us on DACA. Okay, but to use this as a leverage point or a negotiating point, it just doesn't feel right. You know, there's a difference between the spirit of the law and the letter of the law. And this is outside of the spirit of it, and I just don't think it's right. And I would rather speak up about it and tell the truth than sit around. I don't think the president needs, at this point in his administration, as he wants to win both the House and Senate, a lot of yes people, yes men and women sitting around him and saying, oh, yeah, no, this is the Democrats' fault. Leave it as is. Because even if it is the Democrats' fault,
It's not.
Okay, but I'm not saying it is, but
It's not.
I'm just
I mean, that premise just doesn't even fly.
But Allison, I'm not stipulating that it is. Whether it is or it isn't, it doesn't matter. It's bad policy.
Whoever's fault it is,
And
you're
the
saying.
president needs to abrogate it as soon as possible so that we can get back to talking about the great job that he's doing on wages, the economy, growth, peace and prosperity.
I want to ask you about Paul Manafort. Yes or no? Will the president pardon Paul Manafort?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Okay, fair enough. Moving on. We now know that Roger Stone met in 2016 with a Russian who was offering dirt on Hillary Clinton. This is starting to feel like deja vu all over again. He didn't disclose it to congressional investigators in front of the House Intel Committee. So the deal fell apart, it sounds like, because the Russian was demanding $2 million in return for this dirt. Why does there seem to be a pattern of people connected to the Trump campaign who keep meeting with Russians?
Well, I mean, in Roger Stone's case, you know, because I read through the story last night, as probably you did, it doesn't seem like it was going anywhere.
But they still took the meeting. I mean, this is the pattern of people meeting with Russians who keep promising dirt on Hillary Clinton. This is outside the norms of what we generally think of goes on in United States presidential elections.
I hear you. Listen, I mean, you know, you've got an investigation going on for 17 or 18 months. I don't think the president was even aware of that meeting, and I don't think the president has done anything near the Russians or has anything to do with any level of collusion. That's just my opinion based on my observation inside the campaign and as one of his executive transition committee.
And I think that's a valuable perspective that you have. But there have been now 11 people, according to the Washington Post. I mean, they crunched the numbers.
I understand that, but there's also
with Russians and didn't necessarily disclose it to investigators.
There's
Here
also
they are.
been. I got it. I got the point. But there's been 23 people that have either been indicted or pled guilty related to situations going on with the Russians. But the real question I think the American people want to know is that did their president do anything collusive as it related to an outside international government? And I think the answer is definitively no. We're 16, 17 months into the investigation. Let's let the investigation play itself out. I believe that the president will be exonerated, as will the people that were in his inner circle. As it relates to Roger Stone, I have a good personal relationship with Roger. I like Roger. I take him at his word that it didn't go any further and that he didn't speak to the president about it. And we'll have to see what happens as it relates to the Mueller investigation and who he's going to charge or not charge relative to the fact sets that you guys are describing.
Last question. It seems like Kellyanne Conway's husband doesn't like President Trump.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Because of this tweet
Okay.
about there are very serious allegations here, and they should be referred to the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. He's responding to a New York Times piece in which experts said it was likely the Trump Foundation and President Trump's campaign violated federal campaign finance laws. Why is he weighing in?
Okay, I don't know. I mean, James Carville married Mary Madeline. Okay, I mean sometimes opposites attract, Allison. Okay,
But
I mean,
is it a problem that Kellyanne
look at
Conway
the love
is the
affair
top
that me and,
advisor?
Look at the love affair me and
you
Chris
have?
Cuomo are having.
I've tried
okay?
to turn away from that.
Right. Okay. So if you look at my love affair with
I'm
Chris
not asking
Cuomo,
about their
it could be
marriage.
identical to Kellyanne and George. I mean,
Disturbing on so many levels.
Well,
Anthony.
look, I'm making the point that people can have a difference of opinions. People can still get along. I like George a great deal.
Yeah.
Kellyanne has done an amazing job for President Trump.
I understand, but does it
and she was
sabotage her in
amazing
some
during the
ways because
campaign.
she's his top advisor in the White House, and her husband is tweeting about all of the problems within the White House?
Well, I mean, this is a network that actually believes in the First Amendment and the ability to express people's opinion. I don't know every single couple that has political ideology perfectly, okay? There's a lot of things that my wife and I disagree with politically, okay?
Understood.
So
but
I mean,
just to publicly be
you're-
saying it in the way George Conway is, do you think that that is somehow impeding Kellyanne's work in the White House?
I actually don't, because I think at the end of the day, the president probably respects the independence of opinion. Kellyanne has been very faithful and very loyal to the president's agenda. She's if not his best communicator, she's in the top one or two in terms of the best communicators. She helped him get elected. He won 52% of the white female vote.
I get it. So whatever her husband does and
So
he
what is
wants to freelance, who cares?
He's not in the administration.
Fair enough.
No, maybe he'll be in the Chris Cuomo administration someday. Okay?
God, you can't let him go.
No. You brought him up.
You can't quit him.
You brought him up.
Cannot quit Chris Cuomo.
You are a lot more fun, Allison. Okay, you can tell him I said that.
Oh, I will. He's listening right now. Anthony, great to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. Great to talk to you.